Are you really easy to forgive, or do you have a super hard time forgiving? My name is Megan Dasbach, and I am a licensed mental health counselor here at the therapy room. And to pair with our discussion of boundaries, thought we would get into a little bit of forgiveness. We're going to talk about what forgiveness is and what it is not. So, what is forgiveness? It's letting go of resentment and anger and other negative emotions that we have towards someone who treated us unfairly. You know what it's not? Dismissing those feelings or condoning or excusing what happened. What happened happened. Your feelings were incredibly valid no matter what others say about them, and you deserve to have space for those feelings. Forgiving someone is not wiping that away or saying that they don't matter, especially if someone tries to pressure you to believe so. Forgiveness is choosing to see that person as human and treat them with respect, recognizing that this was perhaps a single incident in a larger scale of who the person was, or perhaps, uh, it's an opportunity for others to make us feel as though we overreacted, even if we didn't. So it's not forgetting how you were hurt or pretending like it never happened. It's making a conscious choice to see the person as a bigger whole than just that individual incident. Forgiveness is taking a chance on mending the relationship. This requires vulnerability, self reflection, and a lot of trust in the other individual. You know what? It's not going back to how things were. You have the right to continue, modify, or even end the relationship if you choose. Forgiveness is a choice, and it dictates your side of the terms of what moves forward in this relationship. Forgiveness is something that develops over time. It's not saying it without meaning it. It can be experienced through words, through actions, through both. And also, forgiveness is not something that we can force to happen just because we want it to happen. Forgiveness is not time bound, right? You can forgive pretty much immediately. You can forgive for something that's in the past, or even forgive someone who's no longer in your life. Forgiveness is not for the other person, and it's not to try and fix a relationship. We have to forgive for our own healing. A lot of times in therapy, we see the practice of forgiving someone whom maybe you don't have a relationship with anymore, or maybe someone who's wronged you or harmed you in some way that you never had a relationship with. Forgiveness is a practice of you healing yourself, and healing through those experiences has really nothing to do with the other person. We make that choice ourselves. Forgiveness is, like I said, it's an opportunity to heal. It can reduce distress symptoms. It can reduce symptoms of anxiety or depression, help with trauma. It can even increase hope and self-esteem. Forgiveness is not a tool for revenge. We don't want to use it as a bargaining chip against another person. Well, how come you can't forgive me for this? I forgave you for that. That's not what we use forgiveness for. Like we said, it is a tool for our own healing. And if we choose to mend or alter the relationship in some way because of that, that is a relationship-oriented choice. It has nothing to do with forgiveness as itself. Forgiveness is something only you can decide for yourself. No one else is entitled to making you forgive someone, although we tend to get lots of pressure about that. And it's honestly something we even learn pretty young in our childhood. We're seeing a lot of change in the generational expectations of what consent is and what kids are allowed to say no to, or how they interact in their relationships. But we all kind of grew up with that perspective of, oh, forgive them. That's what you do. You apologize, you forgive. Words without really intent or meaning or processing our feelings related to them. So it's not something that someone else can force you to do, even if it makes them feel more comfortable. Forgiveness is not what can be forced. You can want to, they can really want you to, but that does not mean forgiveness has been achieved or is even deserved. Your boundaries are yours and yours alone, like we talked about in the boundaries episode, and that forgiveness is another component of that. It is not something that others get to force upon you and make you make your decision. All right, y'all, that's it for us from the therapy room. Be safe and be well.